What is going on to YouTube? Lamont at large. Today I am coming to you from Newport, Rhode Island. And right in front of you is the Friends Cemetery in this very quiet neighborhood. We're going to visit the grave of one John Dubois. He was a man that was executed by the state of Virginia for a first-degree murder that took place on November 20th, 1991. Now, you're really going to want to listen and watch this video because this is one of the more interesting executions that I have heard about in quite some time. So, John Dubois, at the time he was 25 years old during the robbery, November 20th, 1991, John and three of his friends go into an in-a-hurry convenience store located in Portsmouth, Virginia, with the intentions of robbing the place. Now, let's think about it for a minute. Four guys robbing one convenience store. You're basically taking the job of one person and you're divvying it up into four people. You're not going to make very much money in this robbery. I don't know why. If you need to rob a store, just go ahead and do it by yourself, so you can reap all the rewards that are going to be available to you instead of involving more people, more problems. Anyways, I'm not a mastermind criminal. So anyways, four guys go into the convenience store. They pull out a gun. There's only one person that has a gun, and that's John. He has the gun. He goes into the convenience store, pulls out his gun, says this is a robbery, blah, blah, blah. Immediately, he lets off a shot. There's three people working there, a woman and two guys. One of the guys was Philip Cancel, 39 years old at the time of the murder. When he shoots the gun, he almost hit somebody in the head, one of the other employees. Okay, this guy means business. All right. Everybody down on the ground. Philip is working as the cashier at the time. Now, Philip had been in a previous auto accident and had suffered a rather serious brain injury. So his motor skills, his verbal skills were a little bit slow. I commend him, however, for still wanting to keep working. He could have just hung out and collected a check, but he still wanted to be a productive member of society, unlike this Janelle character. So anyways, they're saying, hey, give us the money, give us the money. They don't know that he's slow because he almost died in a car accident. The four guys decide that he's not moving fast enough for their favor. They jump over the counter and start beating the living tar out of him. They're beating him. And John takes out his gun and shoots Philip in the chest. They grab all the money out of the register. They don't even ask them about the safe. They just get the money and they run out. You just made $400. Congratulations. Now you're gonna have to split that money up four ways. So you made $100. Yeah, good for you. Good for you. Unfortunately, not good for Philip Cancel because he later died of his injuries at a hospital. So these knuckleheads are quickly apprehended, right? Now they arrest John and three of his friends, and they charge them all with first-degree murder. Here's where things get a little bit interesting. Now, John has quite an extensive criminal arrest record. He is a drug dealer. That's how he makes his living. He has larceny. He has assault on his record. He has firearms possession, convicted felon. You can't own a firearm. He was involved in a attempted murder in the Boston area. So not a good guy. He has nine children, and probably not taking care of 10 of them. All right. It's not a good guy. This guy's a career criminal. He just killed somebody. We need to put this guy away. Now, in Virginia, back in the days, they had the death penalty. They don't have it anymore, but we knew back in those days, Virginia don't play. And they were looking at this guy's criminal record. They were looking at the violence of the crime that was committed. They're looking at the fact that you didn't have to kill this guy. You killed him for absolutely no reason. Okay. However, it is still going to be a capital murder. Capital murder, that means that the death penalty is on the table. So he's being charged with this capital murder. The punishment is death via electric chair, which then they turned into lethal injection. Here's where things get interesting and dicey. So the prosecutor is talking to John Nile and his public defender. So he tells the public defender that tells John Nile, he said, listen, this is what we're going to do. If you plead guilty, so we don't have to waste our time going to trial and all this and that. We all know you're guilty. We all know you're a career criminal. Even though this is a death penalty case, I will not argue for the death penalty. I won't argue for it. Okay. So if you're Janelle and your public defender just told you that they're not going to argue for the death penalty, but yet it is still on the table. So when you get sentenced, when you plead guilty, when they go through all that legalese mumbo jumbo stuff, you're probably thinking in the back of your head, okay, well, at least they won't, so I won't get the death penalty. If I can dumb myself down to his low IQ level and think, okay, they're not going to argue for the death penalty. Okay, so and I get sentenced, I'll get life in prison, and then I'll get 3 hots in a cot, and then, whatever. So he says, okay, that's fine. So now the prosecutor is not going after the death penalty, even though this is still a death penalty case. Follow my lead? Okay, good. I hope you do. I hope you guys do. So he goes for sentencing, and the prosecutor is not seeking the death penalty anymore. They're saying, hey, this guy is a lifelong career criminal, saying he's not a good person, but they're not saying, hey, judge, we really, really need to go for the death penalty. The judge on the case, however, is not bound by that promise. And the judge tells him, this guy is such a danger to society. We've had psychological experts say that this guy, he's unable to be rehabilitated. And that he is so dangerous that if he were to ever get out, because if you give him a life sentence, he might get out. You never know. Life doesn't always mean life, depending on the state. So the judge knew that there was possibly a very possible small chance this guy would eventually maybe get out. Maybe he'd be an old man, but he would still get out. And he was such a danger to society that the judge said, no, I'm giving you the death penalty. And he was convicted, and he was sentenced to death. And he was executed on August 31st, 1998. And, I wasn't sure what to think about this case because, number one, don't kill people. If you don't want to get executed, don't kill people. I do it every day. I don't kill people every day. I've never been executed. This is his grave right here, Janelle Dubois. Sunrise, September 8th, 1967. And then sunset, execution, August 31st, 1998. He's buried next to his mother, Willa Walls. She died maybe about 3 weeks after he did. So I don't know if she did something to herself or she died of grief or, listen, here's the thing, kids. You don't, you raise your kids the best you know how. They don't always turn out the way you would want them to. So I don't know what that story is about. And, I know I have people here that are, death penalty opponents. I'm a proponent of it. And I just thought this case was so interesting because this guy, here's what he's probably thinking. He's like, I'm probably not going to get executed. And if he knew that the judge could do that, I'm pretty sure he would have said, let's just go to trial. I might as well. I got nothing to lose. His last meal is unknown because I don't know why. I found this also interesting. He didn't want it reported in the news what his last meal was. He had no visitors on the day of his execution. I don't know if it's because he didn't want to see anybody or they didn't want to see him. Not sure which one it is there. His final statement was, I send love to my family and friends and everyone who knows them. That's all. He did not apologize to the victim's family, and there was almost a dozen of them at the execution to witness him get the big needle. This guy had 9 kids, man. I hope those kids steered away from that life, but I know one of them didn't, because I read an article. One of them went to prison for being a knucklehead, so some of those apples don't fall far from that tree, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure out of 9 of them, one of them's got to be doing good. Anyways, payable on death is what I say. And was this man treated unfairly? Well, Philip Cancel was treated very, very unfairly. He was murdered over $400. That wasn't fair. I just thought it was interesting because this guy, probably thought, hey, I'm not going to get executed, but he did anyway. So, but he took it like a man. So, hey, whatever's clever at the end of the day. We treat people the way we want to be treated. And I don't need to remind you guys every time I make a video to treat others kindly. I simply only say, treat people the way you want to be treated. We're all adults. I'm assuming most of you guys watching this channel are adults. So I don't need to tell you to be nice. I'm pretty sure you know how to do that already. Anyways, guys, just a very interesting story that, hey, be good, everybody. Be good to each other. Treat everybody the way you want to be treated. And I live by that every day. Okay, guys, Lamont at large. I'm leaving the cemetery. I'll catch up with y'all later. Have a good one. Peace out.